Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Aseem. I work with a company called Impact Research and Measurement, and I've added 2 additional names in my presentation because I also represent the Association for Measurement and Evaluation of Communication. Now as a board director, but 2 weeks back, I was the chair for the last 2 years. I recently handed over to our new chairman in Bulgaria. And I've also mentioned the name of another company called Cometric. Cometric is another member of AMIC. The reason I've mentioned their name is because I'm going to be presenting research that was done by a lady called Maya Koleva. Maya is one of the directors on the AMIC board, and she's the head of research, director of research and insights at Cometric. Cometric is a European firm which is also into research. And nowadays, you know, all of us hear so much about AI. Every time you go to a conference, there'll be like 10 sessions which are going to be talking about AI. And a lot of times, there's a lot of repetition that is happening in these sessions. So what I've chosen to do very bravely, and please tell me if it works at the end of the presentation, is I'm going to present some technical aspects of AI in a way which I'm going to talk about a little later. But I'm told there are a lot of students in the room. Is that correct? Do we still have students in the room? No, all right. All right, so when we talk about AI, everybody says a lot of things about benefits. We talk about challenges. But what is the reality? What's happening in the world of public relations, and especially what's the reality in the world of measurement, monitoring and measurement? Because I represent a small part of public relations, which is media monitoring and media measurement. So what's happening in this area? And that's the question that my colleague Maya Koleva picked up. And she said, let me do this. Let me try and do a research to see what is the reality today. And she tried to answer 6 questions. And I'm going to talk about all these 6 questions. The first question she picked up was, what are the new tools and offerings that are game-changing tools, or at least claiming to be game-changing? And I'm not going to talk about names of the companies. I'm not even going to talk about the tool that we offer as Impact. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about what are the categories in which these things are happening. And to do this, the first thing we did was we went back to what a typical researcher would do. We went back to searching, in the last 18 months, what all new products and services are being launched or aimed at public relations professionals which are in the field of AI. So for this, what we did was we created a Boolean search. How many of you know what a Boolean search is? Just raise your hands. Boolean search, what is a Boolean search? All right, not many people. So I must tell you, dear PR professionals, it's very important to know some of these terms and actually start using Boolean searches. So Boolean search is when you have terms of interest to you combined with various operators like and, or, not, and you create a structured query so that you can get better results when you do a search. So in the field of research, we use very complex Boolean queries. So we created a Boolean query for this topic that we wanted to research on, which is we wanted to know, in the field of PR and measurement, what are the AI-related tools that are being targeted towards industry? So what did we do? We picked up a group of keywords: public relations, PR measurement, monitoring. And in another group, we picked up words like GPT, AI, machine learning. And we conducted a research. And we got a lot of articles. And the word cloud here is showing what are the words which were standing out in all the research results that we were getting. Now, there were 4 distinct types of tools that were being targeted. We found 60 new product announcements or reviews in the press, 60. And all these were in one of these 4 categories. The first one is very clearly writing assistants. I'm sure all of you would have used some AI-based writing assistant already. Have you? Yeah, thank you. I'm not going to talk about then writing assistants. So I'm going to talk about the other 3. So the second one is automated insights. We pick up a lot of data which is on our clients, on our companies, which could be news coverage, it could be social media data. We put all this data into a tool, and we get some automated insights. I'm going to show you some examples. Second is, with advent of ChatGPT and other products similar to that, chat interfaces are available. So chat interface available to you for search. That's the third category. And the last category is backend features, which is pulling these large language models into your own workflows so that you are able to get even better benefits. So these are the 4 examples that we got. What are the types of tools which are in reality being used other than the hype that we see all around us? Now, out of these 4 examples, what works well and what does not work well? We're going to look at that. And for that, the first example I'm going to give you is, again, about Boolean queries and how some companies have started replacing Boolean queries with very simple, easy to understand questions. What you see on the left here, which is very complex, you can't read it, but the idea is to make it very, very complex. It's again a very complex Boolean query. And we in the research field take a lot of pride in saying we know how to create the right Boolean query so you get the right results. But some companies have actually started replacing these Boolean queries with very simple tools which are actually backed by AI to say, just tell me what is it that you want. I will convert this into a Boolean query for you. Now, to give you an example, imagine that if you wanted all news on Google. So you will say, Google is a keyword, but then Android is a product by Google. So you'd want all news on Android also. So you'll have to say, I want news on Google and Android. This is a simple query, but it's a simple Boolean query. Instead of doing that, creating that on your own, you go to this AI tool and say, I want all news on Google. Now you create a Boolean query for me. And automatically it'll do all the research to say, we need to pick up news on Google and Android and Pixel and so many other products that Google has. So that's one use case which is working out very, very well. Automated insights, I talked about that earlier in one of the slides. And it's a very large concept. So I've broken it down into 2 parts. The first part is automated insights for peaks. What you see in the middle here is a chart wherein we're showing trend data across different days in a month. And what we're doing here is we are using AI to only figure out what's happening at the peaks, each of the peaks. And why we are doing that is because then we have to work with lesser amount of data, and the cost of using AI for lesser amount of data is also manageable. And this is one use case which came out in the research that Maya did, that this is working out very, very well. In fact, there were about 20 companies, which are again members of AMEC, PR agencies, who are already using this technique and using AI in reality to bring value to their own teams or to their clients. Now, next part of automated insights is automated insights for conversation patterns. In the earlier example, we only looked at the peaks. But in this example, because we're going to look at the entire conversation, we're going to look at each and every data point in all that we monitor and pick up. And doing this is bringing a lot of value, but we found in our research that there were only 4 companies which were using this. And when we tried to figure out what are the reasons, cost was a very important reason, because a lot of times all of us think that $20 is all you have to pay to get access to a tool like ChatGPT. So why can't you use that to get the research done for all the data points that you have? But do you know that if you have to do research for a large number of data points and use ChatGPT as an API, the cost suddenly shoots up and you're paying a lot of money to do that. So therefore, not many companies are doing it, but yes, still a lot of companies are doing. Third, losing jobs to AI. You know, we hear about this conversation all the time, right? And we thought, let's see whether something like this has happened in our industry. And let me again, for clarity's sake, share that here I'm referring to the industry of news monitoring and measurement, right? And first, let's start with what are people predicting, and who better to predict what's going to happen than Sam Altman himself. we are in June, and in May last month, he gives a lot of interviews wherein he used words like AI is going to eliminate jobs, AI is going to affect millions of jobs, AI will change the way jobs are there in the market. And this is what we picked up from the press. So this is where we sent out queries using LinkedIn and Personal Connect tools to members of AMIC. All right, I'm going to quickly run through the remaining slides. My time is up. So we asked people that give us inputs on what's happening. Is this true? And we came across one example. This is from France. In September of 2023, there was a news that a company in the business of media monitoring and measurement has fired 200 people because of artificial intelligence. And when we tried to dig deeper into it, we realized that the number was not really 200, the number was actually 130, and AI was only being used because it's good to say AI is the cause of the jobs being lost. Actually, it was more a case of overall automation effort. I don't know how many of you know, France is actually promoting use of AI, but the trade unions there are against the use of AI. And therefore, it's very easy for people in the media to also blame AI for anything that's happening. So we figured out that no, this was not because of AI, but because of overall automation efforts. We found one more example, which was from July of 2023. This is in Latin America, again in our industry, wherein there were some jobs lost, but the loss was not because of AI. But if you see the word automatization, it was more about overall automation efforts and not just AI. All right. What are clients saying about use of AI? And for this, I looked at a research report by Muckrack, and they conducted two researches in April 2023 and then again in November 2023. In April, they said, when they asked PR professionals, how many of them are actually using AI? 28% said we are. In November, when they repeated the research, 64% people said that they're using AI. But what is more interesting is, when they were asked, what do they see as future of usage of AI in public relations? And they looked at different categories. And the first category was research and list building. Second was monitoring and measuring. This was in April of 2023. But again, when they asked in November, you would see monitoring and measuring, it dropped down one level. This was the only category which showed a degrowth compared to all of the categories which were there in the list. And we don't know why. We actually don't know why. There could be three reasons. One could be that probably media monitoring and analysis companies have not been able to deliver using AI very well. Or in those 6 months, things have actually changed. And now they're looking at future again. So now they're already getting what they were demanding from media and monitoring companies in terms of usage of AI. Okay, because I'm running short on time, I'll quickly answer, just look at these two questions. How can AI help comms and PR practitioners with do-it-yourself measurements? And how is it going to impact PR measurement providers like our company, Impact Research and Measurement? And I must tell you, currently the tools that are out there that are available, if you were to start using them for doing measurement on your own, you actually can. Not just standalone tools, but there are add-ons for Google Sheets also available, there are custom GPTs available, and there are APIs available using which you can actually do this. Why am I saying this? Because not measuring is worse than you measuring using do-it-yourself tools. And if these tools are available, why not go ahead and use them? I think with that, I want to thank you all for listening to me about this research, and thanks again to Maya Kuleva for sharing the research results with me so that I can present these to you. I'm going to be around. If you have any questions, please come in and ask. Thank you.